Like many suburbs, Seven Hills is facing some financial troubles. Mayor Richard Delaquila said Seven Hills will have to make some very difficult financial decisions in the upcoming future. So what cuts do you think the city needs to make? Councilman Trafis, you can go first.
Thank you. I think there are a number of things that Seven Hills can do to reduce our expenses. The first thing that I would like to see happen if we have a new council is to make our building department part-time. Currently we have a full-time building commissioner along with 2 full-time clerks, and our building commissioner is making approximately $85,000 plus benefits, and Seven Hills is about 95% developed. Most of the responsibilities of this department are for permits for home improvements and things of that nature. That's one item that we can reduce. I also think that we can make reductions in our recreation center. We have, like it was mentioned, we have 2 full-time employees. I do think that we can make an assistant recreation director part-time. Now, one thing that I think would be very important is, as much as I appreciate having a coordinator for activities and parties, I don't think that job necessarily is the best thing for our city right now. I would rather see us have a position of economic development director where they can work day in and day out on attracting new business and other grant opportunities to the city that would not only pay for that position, but also generate more money to help us long term.
All right, thank you. Mr. Biasiotta, would you like to go next?
In preparation to become a candidate for Council in Ward 1, I requested and received the last 4 years' operating budget from the Seven Hills. My degree is in finance, and I have 25 years professional experience running big projects that have to be done on time and on budget. So immediately, one of the things that I thought I can contribute is going over the numbers. And I did not see, from an expense standpoint, where we are today, at least at the end of 2014, any big bogey. As I walked the ward, which I'm almost started, just finished the ward and I'll be starting my second lap of my ward, one of the questions that did come up was the building department. They said, hey, we got a huge building department, blah, blah, blah. So I didn't have the answer. So the one thing I will do when elected is I will get the answer, and I asked the City Hall, I'd like some data on what we have. And so we have 3 full-time people in the building department. And then I asked other surrounding suburbs, Independence for 1, which is approximately 7,000 residents versus Seven Hills, approximately 11,000 residents. They have 3 full-time building inspectors as well. So we got a city that's almost 50% larger and the same number of people. I didn't see a big gap there. So the expenses, protecting our services as they are today, I don't have a proposal on how to cut them, because maintaining services to the city is one of the things that makes it a good place to live.
Great. Mr. Tripi?
Thank you. My experience, I've had to go out there and, in the private sector, look at what expenses could be cut. And there's always expenses that can be cut. And you have to sometimes be creative and think things through. I've had a lot of experience doing that in the business realm that I've worked. And I've had some experience working with the city in the past. I think that all those options must be explored first. But I can't necessarily provide the necessary input until I'm actually in council to look at it. I think that's really the only way to make those determinations. I applaud Councilman Trafis for throwing out some ideas, because I think those are ideas, and every option has to be explored. You can't go in there and say that's untouchable. Everything has to be looked at, explored, and determined. And we want to maintain certain service levels, but when cuts have to be made, we have to be creative.
All right, Councilwoman Lecznar, you're up.
Over the past 10 years being on council, I've seen a full, robust city hall go down to bare bones. We do have 3 people in the building department. However, based on the cities around us, we are actually a lot lighter than any of them are. We have made a lot of cuts at the rec center, which have brought expenses way down, and they are not taking as much out of our general fund as they used to, which is a big savings, and thanks to Jen Berger, who came in and just really cut everything. We will not cut any services such as police department or fire department. Those are too vital to the citizens, and I will not even consider doing that. Service department has gone from, I'm not positive on the number, but I want to say like 23 people, down to 17. And he's doing a lot of that with part-time work also. It's one of the things that we're working at a very, very good pace with as little people as we have already. If we get into the point where we really need to cut, we'll have to look back and try to resharpen our pencils and go back over everything again. But right now, we are so low on everything that it would be difficult to cut anything more.
Thank you. Mr. Biasiotta, any follow-up for you?
No follow-up. I do agree with Caryl. The latest numbers I was able to find, and remember I'm only a citizen, was that the service department was down 10 employees over the last recent years, and they're still delivering a pretty good level of service. So if any of the service people are watching, I commend you on your efforts.
Great. Councilman Trafis, any follow-up for you?
I just want to mention that within the past 6 months or so, 4 full-time service department employees were hired to replace people that left for whatever reason. I'd also like to, I'll leave it at that for now. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Tripi, anything for you?
Yes, I mean, I think a matter of being creative, sometimes you have to go out there and look at options that are outside the box. Now, there are things such as working with our neighboring communities to see what type of options we can work on with them to try and reduce some of our expenses and while trying to maintain a certain level of service. These are things that we have to explore and see what we can do and what we might be able to consider.
All right. Councilwoman Lecznar, you're up.
I have nothing else to add. Thank you.
Great. Thank you.